right now, we like, obviously with the epidemic and everything just, you know, being done, or slowly getting to be done, I guess you could say, when you go out to have dinner, there's some restaurants that won't give you menus anymore. You know, you are taking pictures of the menu, and then you're like, there's like a QR code, and then you know, you order from your phone. So they're doing things a little bit differently, so you don't have to, you know, touch very many things. That's kind of what the point is. So when I saw that, it brought up kind of what Cloud CMA offers. It's the same thing. So if you guys want to start doing open houses, if you want to provide just, you know, certain, maybe one flyer that you can, there's these marketing companies that'll do like a vinyl flyer that you leave at the property, and every client that comes, they just take a picture with their camera and it goes to their phone. So then again, it helps you. You don't have to worry about refilling flyers. You know, it saves you money. And it's a win-win for everybody, because they're just going to throw the flyer in their back seat anyways, you know, it becomes trash. So, I mean, there's a lot of, you know, great benefits from it. So I wanted to share with you guys, number one, Cloud CMA is now doing live listing presentations, which is pretty neat, because I think it showcases you as a true professional. And then it also, like I said, when you can do property reports, that they just simply have to take a picture of, and they'll find out details about the property, and you customize them. So you decide what you want on there and what you don't. And then you can do flyers as well. So these are nice things that you can send to your clients, and they don't have to be your listings. Okay, so just remember, they don't have to be your listings. And I'm going to show you how to do that by just simply inputting the MLS numbers that you're going to show your clients. You can text them if you have an iPhone, you can text PDFs to iPhone users, or if anything, you can email the properties that you're going to be showing, and then they don't have to print anything out. They can simply open it, or like I said, they could take a picture of it and then be able to view it on any device. So let me share my screen with you guys so we can get started here. And so are you guys familiar with Cloud CMA?
Yes, a little bit. Like,
yes.
Get by. Actually, I really don't know it, but I kind of skim through it, because I'm still using the old CMA, and then I use RPA.
Okay, so Cloud CMA is really nice. The reports come out so nice, and the nice thing about it too is whatever information, like let's say you go back, if you want to follow up to see what your clients ever decided, I mean, you still have the old information, and then just by simply updating it, it'll give you all the new information. So you can save the old ones compared to the new one, and then, you know, kind of gives you side-by-side comparisons too, so that's kind of nice. But basically, you just go into the MLS, so we'll just do a basic one. Go into the MLS, create a CMA, just like you normally would. Can you guys see my screen? I want to make sure you're
Yes.
where I'm at.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to do like a basic search. So let's just say I want to do a CMA for someone here in Chino, let's just say. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, just because I know all kinds of stuff's going to come up and I don't want that. So single family. And then maybe I'll do like a little map area of where it is. So let's just say it's over here in this area. So we'll just pretend it's over here. So I'll just circle all these, go to results. And then what I'm going to do is I'll select, you know, I'll review them and see what they look, make sure they're like properties. And then I'll select the ones I want to use. So I'll just pretend I want to use these. Here's one available. These ones that sold. You know, I'll just use that just for now, just to make it easy.
Sonny, you were just in the first main screen, right? You didn't go
Yeah.
into any, okay.
Yeah, main screen.
Yep.
And then once you select the properties that match what you're looking for, or best match, then down here, if you notice in your toolbar, it says Cloud CMA.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to select Cloud CMA. And if you don't use this, or if you haven't, make sure that you go into the far right where you notice my picture is here.
Mm-hmm.
Click that and make sure that you guys go to account settings and set up your information. So that way it has your company, your current picture, your information. You can actually even do customized pages, which is nice, which is if you click that, you can add other things. So like for me, I have my resume in here. I have a seller's roadmap, and then also a seller's action plan that I uploaded in here. So that way, if I want to send that with my CMA, I can.
Oh.
So you can do that. That's the nice thing about it, is you can customize your own PDFs and add them to there as well. So you want to go here, make sure you add your MLS credentials, and then let's see, your contact information. Obviously that's important. And then here's your profile, again, your photo and whatever else you want to put in there as far as your company and stuff like that. The other thing is it says lead generation. If you notice on the right-hand side under custom pages, for those of you who aren't familiar with that, you do get one free landing page that you can share along your social media. You can send it to any potential person who says, I'm kind of curious what my property's value is. You can send a link. The link is automatically branded to you. And what happens is when you copy that link, if you see right here, it says copy link, you just simply copy it. You can go to Facebook or any of your social media, paste it, and then you can put, are you wondering, what your home's value is? The minute they put their address in there, you automatically get notified that this person wants to know their value. So it's like that's why they call it a lead generation. So that way it's a landing page. So you could even, like for me, I have it on my Instagram, want to know what your home's worth, and then I have this link, so they get sent to this link, and then, once they punch in their address, I'll know that this consumer is looking for a value in their home.
Oh, wait, so I don't need this on my website then if I can use this, right? I mean, I have a custom one, so this, like on your emails and everywhere you use this?
Yes.
Wow, because I'm paying for my landing page on my website.
Yes, and this one is free, yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that, okay.
Yeah. So those are some of the great features that I like about the Cloud CMA. So once I go here, I'm going to go back to where I was. So I'm going to click Cloud CMA because I want to take my the properties that I'm trying to compare. So here it says client. I'll put in this client's name. So I'll put Mr. Seller. And then here, private notes, this is for you. It doesn't appear in any of the reports, but maybe there's something in particular that you need to know about the house, or maybe they made a mention of something. It's always nice to have a place where you can make any notes that you need to for your own reference. Here is where you're going to put the subject property's address. So I'll just put our office address here, and it's going to find it here. You're going to select it. Well, obviously it's not going to have the square footage, but typically it'll come up. So I can just put 1,400 square feet, and I'm a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. In the event it doesn't come up, you can add a photo if you have one of the property. If you don't, it's okay. It'll give you a default photo. And then down here is where your MLS listings are that you imported. You can always add more, take it out, or if, let's say you don't have it, let's say it's a hard property and you're like, gosh, there's really no comparables. You can always have the option of doing what they call the quick and dirty version, where you can select it here. And what it does is it'll give you the listings that have closed within the amount of, time that you've inputted here. You can even add more criteria if you want to. So that'll kind of give you a generalized idea if you don't have any MLS numbers to compare it to. So once you've done that and decided how you want to pull up your listings, you're going to select fetch listings, and it's going to find all the properties that you looked for. And then here you can, if you want to give a suggested set price, you can. You don't have to. But this tells me that I have 1 active listing, 4 under contract pending, and 4 sold. So this is what my comparables are. You can once again go in and take a look at each property and determine, was it a good match or not? So I noticed that there's one that's sold or that's active for $680, which is like, wow, compared to everything else, I'm going to be like, why is it so expensive? What's going on here? So you can take a look and see, you can click on it to find out what in the world, why do they want $680,000, for this property? So you can decide, do you want to remove it, and you can just simply take it off so it's no longer part of your comparables, or you can leave it there. You can also do details and adjustments. So what happens is, let's say your property has a pool and none of these have pools. So you can say, you know what, see, if this had a pool, I would say that we could probably give it another $10,000 value. So then it kind of helps you with your, you know, your average and your median. So you can do that as well. So I think that's kind of nice too, when people are wanting to compare, or like, let's say all the homes that have sold, there was no updates in them, but they're like, well, I updated my kitchen. You know, I have solar that's paid for, or I have something that they feel that they should get more value compared to their neighbors. So that's kind of a nice way to do that. And then once you've done that and made sure that, you know, your comps are good, then the next thing you go to is here on top, it says customize. So you're going to select customize. And just so you know, you can set a default so you only do it once. You don't have to do the customization each time. It's going to be up to you. If you want to change it or add stuff, you can. But what I do is, when I do my CMA reports, I only give my clients the bare minimum. So I don't give them all kinds of stuff, because when I go, I do my presentation online with them, you know, I'm on my iPad showing them, but I do leave them with just the bare minimum information when I leave. So here, if you notice, you can pick the theme. So I picked a Remax theme, how I want my photos laid out. And if I have a template, you can decide, you know, you can name your template if you want to. So mine just comes with a cover letter. I included my ratings on Zillow, how they can contact me, a map of the listings, summary of the comparable property statistics, and the sold property analysis. If I wanted to, like I mentioned, I can add my resume to it and it'll go down there. I can add, you know, the seller's roadmap, action plan, or I can even click, like, let's just say this person I already know, like they're just like, maybe they're, you know, they're really going to give me a hard time with commission or something. Then you can add here commission information. You can add why first impressions, you know, why pricing is important. If you feel that this buyer or this seller, I'm saying, is going to be, you know, a little bit difficult, or if they're already telling you, you know, when you're pre-qualifying them over the phone, you know that there's certain things that you have to help get, you know, overcome those objections, you can always add those into your booklet as well, and that'll help you as well. And it just goes over your marketing action plan. Again, it shows you different types of analysis. You can include a seller's net sheet from here. I use the one from from our Zip forms. I don't use the one from here just because I have it already as a template in my listing presentation, so I don't bother to use it here. And here you can decide if you want to use more photos or less photos. But again, it's really up to you on how you like to present your presentation. So once I've selected how I want to do this, then I'll select Publish Report. So the report that it's publishing, it can be, if you notice, it says View PDF. So when you look at it, this is what it looks like. Okay, so it's going to look like this. It's going to have your information branded down here. It's going to have a customized letter, which you can change the wording if you want to. You can always change that. It has my ratings on Zillow, so that way they're able to review and read those. Here it has my contact information, and this is where I was telling you, this QR code is branded to you. So if I don't know if you guys have your phones out, you guys can take a picture of it. Just go to your camera, take a picture, and see where it does. Tell me what it does, just so you guys can see. It should, you know what? I don't know if it's because it's on the screen and it's not printed, but that would be weird.
No, it does do it.
Oh, it does do it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and where does it take you to?
So it took me here to your report.
CMA, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here it takes you to the CMA. So if I wanted to, you know, they can download this report by simply taking a picture of this, and they'll be able to view it. So that's kind of nice. Let's just say, for instance, you even want a door knocker or whatever, and you want to show like a neighborhood report to, you know, to consumers instead of dropping off stuff. You can just, you know, again, just do one page and have them download it, so that way it's on on their device, and it's easy accessible. And so here, right here is the map of all the listings. So this is what it looks like. And I always liked it because to me, it looks very crisp and clean. You know, it shows you where everything's at. I mean, like I said, we use the office, so it's down here, but this is just showing you the red is what's sold, the green is available, and then the yellowish orange is what's in escrow. And then this gives you a comparison here, telling you when it's sold, the price it's sold for, the lot size, square footage. So it gives you great details, averages, which is good. And then you come down here and it kind of gives you a little bit more details. So the sold, there was 4 average days on market, you know, average days on market, you know, average price versus, you know, sold price. All that stuff is, you know, always good information to know. And then here's a sold analysis where again, it tells you the percentage of the list price versus the sold price. So basically everybody in this particular area has gotten what they asked for or more, you know, in the average of 11 days. So this is always good
Sonia?
information. Yes.
Quick question, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No
so you use this as a tool when you go door knocking?
You can, yes. Yes. So when we do market updates, I always like to pull this information because it's just so easy to read and to understand. So I do. What we do is we actually create flyers and we will screenshot, you know, we'll screenshot the important information and then we'll insert it as a photo on our flyer. Yes. Okay. And I can show you an example of how we do that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love that.
And so now that you have this, this would be your version. You can email or you can print. So when you show up, like I said, to your client's house, you have this to share with them. The other thing is if you're in front of them now, let's just say, and you want to actually, let me see, where am I at? Here we are. So now I want to go live. I just want to do a live presentation. Do you guys see where it says view live? It says view PDF and then it says view live.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the request offer, you don't want that. That's like if you want a cash buyer. That you don't trust me, you don't want that. So here it is. This is preparing the live. So imagine you're in front of your client right now. Okay, so you're sitting side by side with your client and you're talking to them about, you know, I'm about to show you what your property values are worth. This right here, if they click here, this is a little bit about me. So just so you know, it talks about, again, it goes into your whatever you filled out for yourself as far as a resume. It talks a little bit about you. You don't have to include that. You can if you want, you don't have to. It tells them here, you know, what is a CMA? And it lets them know how accurate are they and, you know, what are they based on? And you don't have to go through everything. It's just really up to you on how, because you know when your sellers are into what you're doing and when they just want you to get down to the, you know, get down to it. They just want to know what you think their home's worth. So again, some of these things might not be important because maybe it's included in your actual, you know, listing presentation. This is more showing, you know, the comparables and stuff like that. So here you're going to say, so in your property, there was 9 comparables. Okay, so this is what it is. And it tells actives mean this, solds mean this, pendings mean this, you know, withdrawals mean this. So here's your property. You know, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square foot. Now this is what we're comparing it to. So this property closed for this. You see what I'm saying? So you're able to take a look at it. You can click on each listing. It shows you every picture. It's all interactive. So you're showing them not just a piece of paper, but you're showing what it truly looked like from the inside. You're showing them, you know, all the details about the property that was input on the MLS. And here you're showing them, you know, the original price that they listed it was at $529, but they actually got $10,000 above list price, you know, to sell it for this price. And it was on the market for 7 days. You see what I'm saying? So here it's nice. So then now what you do is you go back. And let's say
I have not been using this. I've been like, I would email the list so I could show them the live pictures. Oh my gosh, so old school. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. So let's just say, because if this happens, you know, because the seller knows their home more than all of us, right? So let's just say, for instance, you click on this one to use it as a comparable and they're like, you know what, actually, this doesn't compare to my house because this part of this community is not part of my house. Like that's just on the other street. So I wouldn't use this. So then you simply go right here to the right and say, okay, we'll exclude the comp. So then you can take it out. So that way, you know, the averages won't affect the averages, because trust me, you'll get that, you know, where they're like, you know, oh, hey, this isn't, you know, this or that or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and it does happen. So, but it just shows them that, okay, well, no problem. I can take it out very simply. So again, it's very interactive. This is what I really love about this thing. And then if you wanted to, instead of going back to home at the very bottom, it takes you to the next thing, which is average pricing. So you go there, average pricing. So now based on what we saw, this is what we're looking at. You see, so now you're going over everything again. And if they are not sure, well, what house was that again? All you simply do is click on it and it'll take you right back to where it was. Because they're, you know, right now they're looking and they're comparing, and honestly, getting prices or getting homes priced right, this has been a life changer, because comparing it, like you're saying, to a piece of paper, and they're kind of like, well, you know, this, that, or the other. And here, like I said, I give them control. They're totally looking at it, and they're able to see, okay, now I get why that was that way, or what have you. So you have all of those things, and then same thing here. And if you wanted to, like, I think this is, so this right here, if you notice at the bottom, you see the, like, the pin mark, it allows you to write on it too. So like, let's say people like to write while they're talking. So they could say, see, you notice this, and then if you notice this, and then you see here, so you know what that's what I'm saying, it's really interactive. So that way you're able to really talk about, you know, the different things. Okay, so you want to look at this one, compare it with this one. Okay, so then we'll take this one off. We won't count this one. You see what I'm saying? So you're able to see that it's kind of like if it was a piece of paper, you know, in front of you. So, and then you just go to the next one as well. And let's look at the time of how long is it going to take you to sell your home? And then this is where you can, again, take a look and say, well, this one will take you this long. And this was Independence Street. You know, it took them 12 days. You know, this one that sold, you know, you just keep clicking and it'll tell you about the property. So it'll always be able to reference that property. You know, you're like, okay, well, this one took, you know, how many ever days it took, 10 days, you know, so they're all going to be different. And again, you just keep going. How accurate are estimates, which is important. So it tells right here, estimates varied 29.9%, or 140,000. So what does that tell? Is this important, do you think, to tell your clients this?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they want to go off that, and that could be good or bad.
Right.
You know, so again, this is also important information. And then just going back again. So again, just telling them, and then here is where they're like, okay, so if I were to list it for 500,000, let's just say, what would, and you can do it. Okay, let's see, what would that get you? You know, you owe 125, you know, and then obviously you decide whatever else, you know, the other thing is, but they want to know more or less, okay, well, I'm at 375, what are your fees, you know, average, and then you can go, you know, on to the next thing. If you want to talk about this, you can, you don't have to, but some people talk about where the, you know, the percentages and the money gets broken down to. Intelligent pricing and timing, you know, why it's important to price it right. So this just goes again, and it just flows, you know, you're talking as it flows, and this, and that's the end of it. So this is your
Sonia,
so
is on the net sheet, can you add
on
to
this
the
one you
net sheet?
can't.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah, this one you can't. You know what, they update stuff all the time, so I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of weeks they change it, because they didn't even have that. They keep changing and adding and making it better. So I think people, you know, that are using it are giving them more and more ideas, because this live is new. This probably came about maybe 30 days ago. They did have another live. It was an interactive is what they called it, CMA, which I love too, but this one has been highly enhanced compared to what the other one looked like. So they're making it better.
And so you can only control this as me, the administrator, so I can't send this live over. So I would do a Zoom call. Yeah, so I could get them on Zoom and do it. Okay.
Exactly. Or you could do it in front of them.
Right, right.
Yes. So, but yeah, that's what it's geared towards. Before, the interactive one was you were able to email the link to them and they can do it interactively. But now, for whatever reason, they don't have that. But again, who's to say? It could happen. You know, It could happen at a later time. So that's that. And then, like I said, you're in Cloud CMA again. This is your dashboard.
And they never expire? Because on the other one, I think they go
No.
away after a while.
No, these don't ever expire. So if you notice, look at all the pages I have down here of everyone that I've ever done. And I'm telling you, it's nice sometimes, because when you meet with them and then they say, you know what, I decided I'm just going to wait, then what I do is I'll make a note somewhere to call them, you know, in a later time. And then I just go back. So it takes me back to whatever it was. And then, like I said, you can add notes on there and just say, you know, the last time I talked to them, they were really concerned about netting 100,000, like they needed 100,000. So that way, like I said, if I go back 6 months, I'm like, oh, right, they needed 100,000 at that time. Let me see if that's changed. You see what I'm saying? So it helps you to remember whatever your conversations were at that time with them. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of like, you know, to keep notes. So here is also on the top, if you notice, is the buyer tour. The buyer tour you can create, like I said, if you're showing your clients houses, you just go in here, simply add, and then you put the client's name again, MLS numbers, fetch listings, and then again, the same thing happens. It gives you all of the same information, and you can customize and give your clients more information as a buyer, like information that they may need to help make the decision on how to write offers and stuff like that. Now, the property, this is neat for listing agents. So I want to show you, I created this one. So what you do is you just go in here, again, create your property report, you know, your client's name, you know, the seller, or and then the address. You can put the address as well. And then here is where you're going to put the MLS address. Then you're going to select fetch listings. And then once you do that, I already did this one, so you can go to edit. So when you fetch listings, here it is, you can customize. So again, you can add different things if you want. So here, this is for the property. So this is what I was saying, when people walk in, you can do a flyer that stays always with the property. You just tell them to take a picture and they can take it with them. So it has your information, listing photos, all the photos, everything that's in the MLS, area, schools, restaurants, comparables. You can put your ratings if you want, or you can remove them. You can remove all this if you don't want that to be there.
So
yeah.
Question, are you using a hotspot and you are connected to the internet with this? That was a question that
my iPad actually has the internet built in it, so you do need internet, yes. And a lot of times when I get to the property, I ask the seller if they don't mind if I use their Wi-Fi, because sometimes if their Wi-Fi signal is stronger than my computer, it slows me down. And so it's like, oh my gosh, I'm waiting for stuff to load, and I hate that. So I'll ask them, you know, do you mind if I use your, you know, your Wi-Fi? And usually they don't, I mean, not usually, always, they've always said, oh, sure, no problem. Let me get you the code or whatever. So, and that's actually a way to tell if they're savvy or not, because if they renamed their Wi-Fi and it's simple, then, you know, they're pretty savvy. If they didn't, and it's like all these letters and numbers and everything else to log in, it's like, wow. So, you know, it kind of tells you who you're working with. But so once you So once you create this, if you notice on the top, again, you select the theme. Again, I use Remax theme. You can use anything you choose. If you just select theme, if you notice, if you click on this, it lets you do any theme. There's different colors. Okay, so you can choose, but I like that it has the Remax on there. And then you can save the template if you want to. And then again, you choose the layout if you want multiple pictures or how you know, like the layout to look. And then you just simply publish the report. And again, this is for your listing, so that way the report is in your listing. So once you do this, this is what it looks like. It's going to have all the pictures. And then obviously it says prepare for buyer. I would just put the property address. I wouldn't put prepare for who. But here, if they took a picture of this, again, this report is going to be something that they can take with them. So it's going to give property details. This is the home that they're looking at, and that's for sale. It gives every single photo that's in the MLS. And then it's going to go into the area schools, giving information how far they are and all that good stuff. And here's the area restaurants with, you know, the Yelp ratings. so they can see what's good to eat around here. And then here's some recent comps so they can kind of see what's sold. And again, this is provided by Zillow. So, yeah.
Take it for what it is, yeah.
I'm like, ah, yeah. That's the only part I don't like. I mean, you can put your own comps in there, to be honest. If you don't like that, you could. But again, this is something nice to have there for your clients. You can tell them that you provide property reports for detailed information on their school, the schoolings. And then the other thing is flyers. Same thing. If you don't want to give all of the details about the property and you just want to simply do a flyer, then you can do the same thing. Again, add the MLS number, go in, and if you don't want the QR and you don't care, look at how fast it made this flyer. It does it for you. Again, everything is pulled from the MLS, so you can actually customize it if you want to, changing the font, changing colors, changing the title, because this is just listed, so you can put anything else. You can change the description. You can change, how it looks as far as the layout. Or if I don't want the modern black and blue, let's say I want to go here to the Remax. And so then I want to do Remax. So it's going to update it. So you can kind of see what the difference is. And I don't know it kind of looks cut off, to be honest. You're going to have to mess with it. It doesn't look really nice, does it? But you can actually, like I said, just design it yourself anyways, however you want it. But if you notice, that code is here again. So you can create the flyer to have the code, so that way they can take the flyer with them, again, on their phone.
Yeah, and so the property one, it looks like it replaced Realist. You get the reports from, is it Realist, where they do schools, restaurants, and all that?
Yeah, you can, yeah, you can absolutely do that, yeah. So, and that's and I'm like I said, that's basically it. To kind of give you an overview of the options that you have. Like I said, I think a lot of people are trying to get into the whole, let me go back here. They're trying to get back into, the whole, I want to do open houses now. I want to be able to, start, interacting with people, so, and I think right now would be an amazing time to do that, because it just, I think, allows, right now there's even buyers that are uncertain about what's going on, and so being able to find that, hey, there's someone out there willing to help me, it's nice. I was talking to some of the agents. You guys can set up outside, with the canopy. The weather's pretty nice. Design your hours obviously based upon what works, because every area is going to be hotter than another. But have a canopy, put it outside, and then just direct people to go in, one at a time or one family at a time, taking the precautions. And then, just, I'm sure everybody's used to waiting right now. And you can even create your own. I saw them on some of the cute sites on Core Fact with one of them, where they have their circle and it says stand 6 feet behind, or if you could put Remax on it. You can do all kinds of stuff, and then you just, put them as as they're walking up the walkway, so that way they, stay in line. You can provide, the gloves and, whatever. Everybody has a face mask, so if they plan on touching anything, they can use, any gloves that you have provided. But for the most part, just leave everything open, lights on, so they really don't have a reason to touch, anything as they go in. But yeah, I think, it's a great idea. You can have your iPad there instead of flyers. Just tell them, take your phone out, take a picture. Or the other thing you can do as well is you can ask them, may I get your, your cell phone number so I could forward you all the property information. And that's a nice way to collect information from people who don't have an agent. So,
So Sonia, you don't use the RPA. So what's the difference? I mean, the RPA, the RPA, the other source for the CMAs, because I kind of use the old CMA and then that, and I entwine the two with different pages. Are you familiar with that?
The RPA?
Yeah.
What's
or not
RPA?
the RPA, RPR, sorry.
Oh, okay. So I'm like, wait, what RPA?
I know, sorry
I'm like,
the CMA where, yeah, I don't know how new it is, but I really like that one, but I can't figure out all the tools and whistles to that. That's just, I take a few pages, I put the address in and it does the estimate, the price on the first page too. So do you not use that at all?
I don't use that at all. I use Cloud CMA 100%. I'll go in. I like to really do the research myself because, like I said, most sellers, right, especially right now, I mean, obviously always, the sellers always want the most, and they know that their home is nicer and, and everything else than everyone else's. So I think that having the interactive for me is able, so
Yeah.
I don't feel, because I'm telling you, I have clients that say, oh, well, my neighbor sold for 515. And my house is nicer. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's take a look at what your neighbor's home look like. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
so
the
it's like,
interactive is awesome. The live.
yeah. And so you're like, wait a minute, your home actually is not, you know? So
Which
you're like,
is
okay,
right. You're wrong. No.
yeah. So you're like, well, there's actually, was like this or that or whatever. Or you know what, you're right. It actually is nicer, and there's homes sold in 3 days. So, you can expect to sell yours, in a week or whatever. So yeah, I think it's a little bit more of a gut check, to be honest, because they sit back and they're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, it's been good because they're able to actually see, and I don't feel like I'm fighting on price at all.
Right.
Yeah, once they see that. So,
Cool.
but yeah, that's all I do. Like I said, I just use the Cloud CMA, and like I said, when I show up to my appointment, I have a Remax folder where I printed just the cover page, the intro letter to them, and then the copy of the map with the comparables that I used. And then I give them a copy of my resume and then a copy of my testimonials. And that's all I leave them with. I give like branding stuff. So like, a calendar and like a what to expect while you list with me type of thing. But that's all I give them. And then, but everything else is, my whole presentation is done. I start off by doing my listing. I have a listing presentation that I prepared in Keynote, and I go over all my marketing is what I usually focus on, because I think that's the biggest thing. Showing them the more exposure they get, the more offers, the more, the likelihood they'll get the best, the highest, money for their home. So that's kind of what I focus on. And I recommend, I know, like I was telling you guys, I'm just super excited. Jennifer has made a decision to really, really take our marketing up to the next level. I'm like so stoked by this. So I highly recommend that you guys, she's going to be doing this. We're going to be working on a plan, but definitely get a video out there. You guys get a video, a professional video of your marketing strategy. It's going to be, I mean, when you play that for them, I play my video every time for them. When I do the listing, it's like, it has to be, they have to feel the emotion, and because that's what you're selling. You're selling to them what you're going to do for them, how you're going to get them from here to there. That's what sells at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that connection is key. And I know, Sonia, that Sonia, you had mentioned that, you close everything that you go to. And that's awesome, because you make that connection. It's obvious that you know where it hits, so that's awesome. But if you start meeting with people that you don't know, it gets a little bit tougher, because now you're having to compete with other people. And I was telling the girls on our call earlier that I went on a listing appointment this week, well, yesterday to be exact, and she had told me she was going to interview with different agents. And she was focused on price, on commission. And so I had told her, what I was going to charge. And she says, well, you're higher than the other agents that I spoke to. And so I told her, well, I would love to, have an opportunity to sit in front of you and just kind of show you what it is, that we offer here at Remax. So once I sat with her, she says, oh yeah, by far it's, they're smaller companies. They don't, they basically just came in here and just told me this is what they'll do. But I went in and I was prepared, and, I showed her everything. So she was excited about it. I got her to be excited about it. So I think, like I said, it's important, you want to know your worth. And and that you're definitely, you know, you're going to do everything that you're sitting there in front of them telling them you're going to do. And I think that's another reason why I love the iPad, because as I'm talking to her, I walked around the house, just so you guys know, and I have to send it to my assistant as she's sitting there, but I walk around the house while I'm there, and I'm already inputting the property, because there's those listing input forms, if you guys aren't familiar with them. But I had already, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like, but they're also on the MLS. And these are all tools to help us shine and be better. So I had my iPad and I'm walking around. I don't know if you guys could see it, but this is what it looks like. And so it's a CRMLS listing input form. And so here, as I'm walking around her house, I'm writing down notes. And then I'm also, if you notice there are black dots everywhere, those dots is what her property contains. So now all I do is email it to my assistant, and it's like data entry. So she knows what to plug in, what not to plug in. And then the beautiful thing about the MLS now is they have save, you know, before you enter, before it becomes live. So she'll save it there for me. I'll go in and review everything, make sure everything looks good. You know, she uploads the photos, she uploads the all the pictures and the virtual tours and all that good stuff. And,
all the supplements.
yeah, all the supplements, everything. So then it's, once it's ready to go active, we just, you know, hit live and it's ready to go.
Waiting for the SPQ or TDS. So when you said video, you have a video that you showed specifically just for your marketing? You mean you just have a video of what you do, or? Because I have intro videos, but what do you mean marketing video?
Yeah, so I have a video that I created, and basically because I do web ads for them. So what happens is I show them how their home is going to be shown to different home buyers, how they, you know, how they're able to, you know, how their ad's going to show. So again, Remax is partnered with AdWorks.
Right.
And AdWorks does, you know what, and I know they're changing, but I'm still going to use AdWorks, but they were offering a week, which my last listing, I still got the week free.
Yeah,
when they said that, so they were saying that they weren't doing that, but I'm still getting them. So I'm taking them while I can. But I show them how we create these ads, and you can customize it. You don't have to use the generic one that they do. I like to customize my ads. So I change color on it, and I change the wording on it to make it more enticing. So what I show her, and I wish I could show you guys. Oh, wait, hold on.
So you're videotaping yourself. Are you recording yourself making the ad?
No. I'll show you. Let me see. Hold on really quick. Let me see if I can do this. This might work. It might not work.
A quick question too, Sonia.
Yeah.
The CRMLS input, how do you fill that out? Do you do it with the PDF expert?
Yes. I upload it to PDF expert, because once it goes, you can take it in paper. You can also print it if you want to, and you can actually give it to your client. When you have a client who's prideful, especially if they're like, my house has this, my house has this, that is awesome, because I brought this form. So I always keep one that's printed as well, because I don't know how the homeowner is going to react. But I can tell you this, if they're so prideful about everything that they've done to their home and what it entails, I pull up that form and I'm like, great, I want you to help me fill this out, because nobody knows more about your home than you. And I want to be sure that the buyers know what to expect once, they start looking to see what your home has. Because so many times you look at the MLS, and an MLS is only as good as the agent who inputted it. Right. So if they didn't input what your home is really worth, then people aren't going to want to pay that price. So now they're like, okay, what do I have to do? You see what I'm saying? Now you're involving them. So another way to get them to be like, interactive with you. Because, sometimes people are standoffish. They're like, I'm not sure if they want to make the move or not. So then that's another thing you can pull out of your hat, basically, and say, oh, and by the way, here's this. But because she was already excited and everything else, I told her, let's start walking around. I want to take notes of everything that your home has to offer. And so that way, as soon as your home's ready to be put on the market, I don't have to call you back and ask you, oh, by the way, did you have this? Did you have a fireplace? Was it gas? Was it wood? Was your flooring carpet? You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case is. Did your pantry walk in? Where was your laundry again? You see what I mean? So I'm taking all those notes as I'm walking through, And that's a guide. It's an amazing guide to give you, you know, it'll remind you to ask those questions because it's already templated on there as you would input it on the MLS. So PDF Expert, like I said, if you want, you can upload it to PDF Expert. And if you do, it makes it where you can actually type and, you know, and mark the things. So it's, what do they call that? Where you can do that? I can't think of the word right now, but it's like editable. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Where you can edit it. Yeah, there. That's what I'm calling. Okay, so this is part, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is my listing presentation here.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I'm going through each slide, you know, there's a slide and I'm talking about everything else. But once I get to here, it says online ads. Okay, so you see this. So in my presentation, I select play. So it starts playing for her. And it shows how buyers see the ad. Hold on.
Is she following me? Maybe I'll just call. Hi, I'm calling about the house that keeps popping up on my screen that you have listed. When it comes to listing your property with us, rest assured that your home is in the best hands, online and off. Our online marketing strategy is created once you list with us. A custom digital ad will be shown thousands of times on social media and the web. Just like Amazon might follow you around with those pair of shoes you've been looking at, we will follow potential buyers looking for homes in your area. Are you as excited to get your marketing started as we are? Let's get you going.
So it's something really
simple. Yeah. Love that.
It's really simple, but it's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
So because we already know, we look up something or we don't even look it up. You know,
That's
we
a great
just
video.
Oh, thank you. You just hear something and you're like, what? Well, like, how do they know that or sometimes I tell my husband, were you looking at this? Because sometimes what he looks at, it comes on mine. I'm like, you can never surprise me because I already know what's coming. But this is a video that I had the idea about because I use the ads so much, and and I'll be honest with you, do the ads work? Probably not. You know,
I have it. I pay $1,000 a year for that.
Yeah.
900 something, and but I do have. But then you put your own emails in there, so I upload my database, and so out in the community, they're like, "Damn, girl, I just see you everywhere."
Yes, it's worth it. So, like she's saying, she does a spear campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So the spear campaign, what it does is every email you input in there, what happens is it's going to start showing on those people's, and believe me, they'll send me screenshots and they're like, hey, Sonia, I just saw you. Yep. And so, yes, absolutely worth it. But branding. What happens is branding, exactly. And it just keeps you on top of mind. And that's the goal with the spear. Now with these are done per property because RE/MAX was giving a week free. And so they got 7 days, which they don't need to know that. And just depending upon the listing, sometimes I would extend it. And the reason why is because they email the seller every day the statistics of how many people are viewing or have clicked on their property. So instead of me having to call my sellers all the time saying, hey, this is the update, they felt comfortable knowing that every day they were getting an email letting them know that more and more people were looking at their ads. So that kind of helped a little bit, you know, to put so much pressure on us to continuously keep them updated. So that's kind of why we did that. Now I know RE/MAX is doing the whole, what is it called? I forgot it. I'm sorry. There's so much new stuff. It's the, oh my gosh, there's another one that's for free too for like the first week. I haven't tried it. I haven't tested it out yet, but that's going to be the next thing I do. And maybe, you know, I'll look into that. But
are you talking about the one on RE/MAX?
Yes.
I think it's HomeBot or homes.com. One of those.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly.
Yeah,
it's
because
HomeQuest or something.
I used. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so, I mean, that's also something, you know, again, you just want to be able to show them like, look, this is what we do, or even have a video of your team. You know, this is who, it's not just me you're working with. When you hire me, this is, you know, and maybe introduce your team or what goes behind the scenes of you know, once your property's listed, this is what I do. And then you show yourself, get to the office, you show everything that you're handing everybody to do. You see what I'm saying? So that way they feel like, wow, there's so much work she's going to put into it. So something like that. But I think that we need to show them how hard we are working for them. Opposed to, I could sit here and tell you all day long, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. And you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
They have no clue. But when you kind of, again, you're relatable, you make them feel it, and then they get excited about it, you know, or even having testimonials, you know, you can even show, you know, this is the last client that I just helped. And then, you know, they can speak about, you know what, we didn't think we could do this, and we were so excited. She was able to do this, that, or the other. And videos sell, you know, the stories sell. And so I think that's the important thing.
The other free one on Remax is Megaphone.
Megaphone, there you go.
Oh, that's the one, yeah.
Megaphone
on HomeSnap. It was not home.com, it's HomeSnap and Zillow. So those three you get free for a week with the new listing.
Okay, that's it. Okay, yeah. So yeah, take advantage of those. They don't know if you pay for it or not. So add that to your listing presentation. Add it and say, look, this is what we do, and this is what Megaphone does. And this is, and actually Megaphone, if I'm not mistaken, is only for Remax agents. So another agent cannot try to buy it. That's what I was told. So again, I verify my information, but before doing that, but I definitely would make, you know, would also point that out why, you know, again, all the tools that we, you know, we're going to do once the home is listed.
Great. Awesome information. Thank you so much.
It's great information. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have any other questions? Let me know. I always get worked up over this because it gets me excited.
So you just like,
I could tell.
At the end of the day, or, you know, nights, you're just up learning all this. I mean,
you know, it's so funny. You know, people ask me that all the time. And you know what? I just think because I'm so curious. I'm just a curious person. So I just
And I think you have a technical propensity.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
You do have a talent. You do.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I can, you know, I just get frustrated. I hate sitting at the computer. I hate, you know, I shouldn't say hate, but it's very difficult for me to grasp on all this technology. And so.
Yeah. No, and I think a lot of it is too is, you know, I'm a mom, you know, I have kids, and I want to do other things too. So I think that I try to find what works and what's easy that's going to help me try to streamline things instead of doing stuff over and over and over and over again.
Exactly.
So I think that's kind of what my curiosity tells me, like, what else could I be doing that's going to make it easier for me, simpler for me? And so that way, because I mean, obviously, you know, I have my own business. I help train the agents. You know, I do a lot of things, believe me. And so it's like, in order for me to do that, you know, you have to work smart.
Have to be organized.
Yes, absolutely.
I like the way, how you put time and effort in finding those things that work that are free.
Yes.
Not everybody wants to even admit that they use those free items, but you've been able to maximize all of those little nuances about free. And I love that. And since I have been watching your videos for the past couple of weeks, I have really started trying to organize myself based on your trainings. And I just cannot tell you enough how helpful this has been for me.
Oh, that's good.
Absolutely.
Sonia and Jessica, thank you both.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I know sometimes when I miss your meeting, I'm like, oh, shit. And then you're like, oh, no, you can see it later. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, you can always watch it, rewatch it. But yeah, no, I'm all about free because, I mean, everything's expensive. And I know, you know, many years ago, I was like, they would call me, hey, Sonia, we have this and thing. Okay, sign me up. Okay, sign me up. Okay, sign me up. But then it finally got to a point where, what am I signing up for? I don't even use half of this stuff. So that's why now I'm very, very cautious for what I pay for. And because there is a lot of stuff that we actually already are paying for through our dues. And so it's like, why not use it, you know? So yes.
What do you use for a CRM?
Lion's Desk. I use Lion's Desk, but I'm going to start using our Bouge soon. I haven't had time to learn it yet. So I don't want to just half-fast anything. I am using that first app though, just so you guys know, because it's free for 90 days. So make sure if you haven't downloaded that thing, you should download that.
I did 30 days ago and haven't even used ad like it.
Downloaded what now?
Okay, the first app.
and then I
It's
uploaded
through
all my
Remax.
contacts.
Oh, the first app, yeah.
Yes, because even if you don't use it, the least you could do is help you to sort through your database so you can upload them into Boosh, Clean, and Clear. Because this system actually, it Googles addresses, it's looking for all kinds of stuff to connect different, like let's just say you put a phone number and a name. It searches their home address. And so now it's prompting an address for you, and you have to confirm if it's actually that person. It's so neat. Honestly, it really is.
Really?
And yeah.
So even for me, I don't have any listings, and I just got it in my head that it's only for those who have listings right now.
No. It's your database. It's showing you who is most likely to want to sell because they rate it. There's ratings. There's stars next to it.
Oh, wow.
And they determine it. They said they use factors based on and it's funny because they're following these people. So they're looking to see, are they logging online to look at Zillow? Have they been in their home for so many years? Now they're thinking about, moving. Do they know if they've had any, if they've just got married or if they just had, kids? It's crazy how they do it. But it's pretty amazing, to be honest. So I was reading.
Definitely download it.
Yeah, definitely download it. I was reading that some of the agents were saying that because I have so many contacts in mind where realtors, because I save everybody. I want to know who's calling me, or I want to remember to get their phone number if I need it later. So I save everybody who calls me. And then, so my phone list is ridiculous. But when the nice thing about it is you can put, this is an agent, so it'll take it out. This is an agent. This is, someone that, is not, you don't want to be focused on. So you can revise it. And like I said, the nice thing about it is you can actually upload your true contacts that have been cleaned out up into your database. It allows you to export as a CSV file. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's worth it. I mean, for free, it's worth it right now.
Right. I will definitely do that. I had the wrong perception of first, so I will definitely do that.
But Terry, if you download it, use it. Don't wait like me. I've had it for a month and I'm like,
right.
That is so true. Pay for it to learn it.
Yeah.
Right.
No, exactly. You don't want to pay for exactly. That's kind of what happens. So the nice thing about it is every morning, if you go in it, it'll give you new people like, you know what, you should call this person. You should do this. You should do that. And I'm going to tell you, it's kind of nice because sometimes we don't know who to call or what to do.
Exactly.
So if you just follow what it tells you and you don't have to call them, let's say you don't want to, but you're like, shoot, I haven't talked to this person. Maybe find an excuse. Maybe go on their Facebook. Maybe look to see if their birthday's coming up or they just posted their son graduated or something and just kind of sneak back in somehow. You see what I'm saying?
Wow. That's great. Yes.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So, all right, you guys, well, have a good afternoon. Thank you guys.
Thank you. You too, Sonia.
You're welcome. And
again, appreciate you and Jessica.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime. So you guys need anything, let us know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, you guys have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.